The Law of Success by Napoleon Hill. Picture this. You're a struggling young writer scrambling to pay your bills when you land an interview with Andrew Carnegie, one of the wealthiest, most influential men of his era. The steel magnate, an empire builder. You're hoping for maybe 15 minutes of his time if fortune smiles on you. But something unexpected happens. As you begin talking, the old titan leans forward, drawn in by something he sees in you. Minutes stretch into hours. The interview transforms into a 3-day immersion at his estate. And then, as those 3 days come to a close, this man who built an empire from nothing makes you an offer that will reshape not just your life, but the lives of millions to come. He tells you, "I believe success can be taught. It can be organized into a philosophy that anyone can learn and apply. I've spent my life discovering these principles. Now, I'm going to open every door for you. I'll introduce you to the most successful people alive. Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, John D. Rockefeller. Your mission is to study them, understand their methods, and distill everything into a complete philosophy of achievement. It will take 20 years of your life. I won't pay you a salary. Only cover your expenses and provide those introductions. You have 60 seconds to decide." What would you say? The young man facing that choice was Napoleon Hill. He said yes in 29 seconds. Carnegie later revealed that if Hill had taken the full minute, he would have withdrawn the offer. Someone who can't make a decision quickly, Carnegie believed, can't be trusted to see it through. That single decisive yes launched a 20-year quest. Napoleon Hill devoted his life to uncovering the universal laws that govern success. He didn't just study it. He dissected it, reverse-engineered it, pulling apart the lives of the world's greatest achievers to create a blueprint anyone could follow. The result was a masterpiece called The Law of Success. Published in 1928, it laid the foundation for the entire modern self-help movement and has been credited with creating more millionaires than any other philosophy in history. Today, we're going to walk through that blueprint together. This isn't just a book summary. It's an invitation to understand the 17 fundamental principles that have guided the most successful people who ever lived. By the time we're done, you'll hold in your mind the master key to unlocking your own potential, forged from the wisdom of giants and passed down to you. So where does this journey to success actually begin? Not with money, not with connections, not even with a brilliant idea. According to Napoleon Hill, it starts with something much more fundamental, something you have complete control over right now. It starts with a definite chief aim. Think of a magnificent ship leaving harbor. It has a powerful engine, a skilled crew, everything it needs. But there's no rudder, no destination plotted. It just drifts, pushed around by winds and tides, burning fuel for thousands of miles, but never actually arriving anywhere. Hill says 95% of people go through life exactly like that ship. They have dreams, energy, and willingness to work hard, but they lack a single, clear, definite purpose. Their energy scatters in 100 directions, and they drift from one interest to the next. The 5% who succeed? They have a definite chief aim. It's their North Star, the burning desire that guides every decision and every action. When you fix a definite purpose in your mind, something remarkable happens. Your mind becomes a magnet. You start noticing things you never saw before. You overhear a conversation that sparks an idea. You spot an article pointing toward an opportunity. You meet someone with exactly the knowledge you need. It's not magic. It's the law of concentration at work. Your focused mind begins attracting the people, resources, and opportunities necessary to achieve your goal. Hill learned this from the masters. Carnegie's definite aim was to organize the steel industry. Ford's was to build a dependable, affordable automobile for everyone. Edison's was to harness nature's laws through invention. Each man knew with absolute clarity what he wanted. Their purpose wasn't a vague wish, it was a burning obsession. So the first step is deciding what you want most in life. Not what your parents want, or what your friends think you should do. What do you want? Write it down. Be clear and specific. Then place that written statement where you'll see it every single day, morning and night. This simple act impresses your aim upon your subconscious mind, transforming it from a mere wish into a driving command. But a definite aim, no matter how clear, remains just a dream without the belief you can achieve it. This brings us to the second principle, self-confidence. Hill says your only real limitation is the one you create in your own mind. We're all held back by 6 basic fears: poverty, criticism, ill health, losing love, old age, and death. These fears whisper like ghosts. You can't do it. You're not smart enough. You'll fail. What will people say? Self-confidence is the weapon that destroys these ghosts. But true self-confidence isn't arrogance or empty boasting. It's a quiet, deep-seated belief in your own ability, built on a foundation of knowledge. Hill gives us a powerful formula through autosuggestion, a form of deliberate self-talk. Every day, repeat this to yourself. I know that I have the ability to achieve the object of my definite purpose. Therefore, I demand of myself persistent, aggressive, and continuous action toward its attainment. You're essentially reprogramming your mind, overriding the old software of fear and doubt. You're not hoping for confidence. You're commanding it. You're creating a mental picture of the person you intend to become. Think about the young salesman who attended a lecture on self-confidence and decided to put it to the ultimate test. He made a list of 12 merchants in his town known as impossibilities, the ones every other salesman had failed to sell. Before making a single call, he repeated to himself, "You will purchase advertising space from me before the end of the month." He walked into those stores not with timid hope, but with quiet assurance. He sold 3 on the first day. By week's end, 2 more. He kept visiting the last holdout every single morning for a month. On the final day, the merchant finally asked, "Why have you wasted your time on me?" The young man replied, "Wasted my time? I've been going to school, and you've been my teacher. I've been drilling myself in self-confidence." Struck by this display of persistence, the merchant gave him the order. That young man went on to become a millionaire because he deliberately charged his mind with self-confidence until it became an irresistible force. With a clear aim and the confidence to pursue it, you're ready for the next step, taking action. This leads to the principle of initiative and leadership. Initiative, as writer Elbert Hubbard said, is doing the right thing without being told. It separates leaders from followers. The world gives its biggest prizes to those who don't wait for instructions. They see a need, spot an opportunity, and act. Leadership isn't about a title or position. True leadership is the ability to inspire others to cooperate toward a common goal. It's never forced, it's earned, and it begins with initiative. Consider how Hill secured $25,000 in capital when he had nothing as collateral. He wanted to start a school for advertising and salesmanship. He had the curriculum but no money, and he knew banks would turn him away. So he used initiative. He identified a struggling business college facing stiff competition. Instead of asking for a loan, he proposed an alliance. You need a competitive edge. I have a one-of-a-kind course that will bring new students to your door. Let me establish my school as a department within your college. Use your credit to fund the advertising, and we'll pay it back from tuition fees. Once the department pays for itself, it becomes mine to run independently. Everyone won. The college got a powerful new offering that crushed its competition, and Hill got his $25,000 worth of credit. He didn't wait for an opportunity. He created one by thinking about others' needs. This is the essence of leadership. A true leader doesn't ask, "What can I get?" They ask, "What can I give? How can I create a plan where everyone benefits?" This kind of thinking requires the workshop of the human mind, imagination. Most people think of imagination as something for children or artists, daydreaming and fantasy. But Hill saw it as the most critical, practical tool for success. Imagination is where all plans are created. It's the faculty that lets you take old ideas and reassemble them into new combinations. Clarence Saunders was a grocery clerk earning $20 a week. One day, standing in a cafeteria line with a tray, waiting to serve himself, his imagination kicked into high gear. He took that simple self-service idea from the cafeteria and applied it to a grocery store. In that moment, the Piggly Wiggly concept was born, the world's first self-service grocery store. Saunders wasn't an inventor. He was a connector of ideas. His imagination bridged two separate worlds and made him a millionaire. This is what Hill calls creative vision, the ability to see what isn't there yet. It's seeing a great railway system where there's only empty desert, as James J. Hill did. It's seeing a world lit by electricity when everyone else uses gas lamps, as Edison did. Your imagination is the only thing in the world you have absolute control over. No one can stop you from dreaming, planning, or seeing in your mind's eye the person you want to become and the life you want to live. This is where you build your blueprints. Now, with a clear purpose, unwavering confidence, the drive of initiative, and the creative power of imagination, you've built a powerful inner engine. But how do you fuel it? How do you give it the energy to overcome obstacles and inspire others? The answer is enthusiasm. Enthusiasm isn't just an emotion, it's a state of mind. It's the vital force that turns a boring task into an exciting challenge. Hill compared it to steam in a locomotive. Without it, you're a cold, inert machine. With it, you're an unstoppable force. And here's the most powerful thing. Enthusiasm is contagious. When you speak with genuine enthusiasm, people don't just hear your words. They feel the conviction in your voice, see the light in your eyes, sense the energy radiating from you. It bypasses logic and speaks directly to emotions, making people want to believe in you and your vision. Billy Sunday, the famous evangelist, wasn't a great theologian, but he was a master of enthusiasm. He could move an entire stadium because he spoke from a heart on fire. A great salesperson doesn't just sell a product, they sell their enthusiasm for it. But what if you don't feel enthusiastic? Hill says you can create it. Enthusiasm is born from your definite chief aim. When you're working towards something you deeply desire, enthusiasm comes naturally. Even if your current job isn't your ultimate goal, you can generate enthusiasm by seeing it as a stepping stone toward your chief aim. However, unbridled enthusiasm can be as destructive as a wildfire. It needs a balance wheel. That balance wheel is self-control. Self-control is the ability to direct your thoughts and emotions, rather than being directed by them. It's the mark of a disciplined mind. Someone who has mastered self-control doesn't fly into rage at every slight, or get swept away by gossip or discouraged by temporary setbacks. They're the calm center of the storm. Hill tells a powerful story from his own life. He had a misunderstanding with his office building janitor, who started turning off the lights on him as a prank. One day, enraged, Hill stormed to the basement to confront him, unleashing a torrent of angry words. When he finally ran out of breath, the janitor, calm as could be, just smiled and said, "Why, you're just a little bit excited this morning, ain't you?" In that moment, Hill was completely defeated. He, the student of philosophy, had been bested by a man who couldn't read or write, but had perfect mastery over his emotions. Humiliated, Hill returned to his office, but he knew what he had to do. He went back down and apologized. The janitor graciously accepted. That incident was one of the most important turning points of Hill's life. It taught him that no one can control others until they first control themselves. When you refuse to be drawn into another person's anger, you retain all the power. You think with your own mind, not react with their emotions. Self-control allows you to think clearly under pressure. It prevents rash decisions based on fear or pride. It's the quiet, steady hand on the rudder keeping you on course toward your definite chief aim, no matter how turbulent the waters. So we've built the inner person: purpose, confidence, initiative, imagination, enthusiasm, and self-control. Now, how do we present this person to the world? This leads to one of the most practical principles: developing a pleasing personality. A pleasing personality isn't about being born with good looks. It's a cultivated quality, an attractiveness radiating from within. It's a personality that draws people to you, makes them want to help you, and opens doors that would otherwise stay closed. What's the secret? Simple yet profound. Take a genuine interest in other people. Hill illustrates this with a story about an elderly woman who came to his office. He was busy and assumed she was just another book salesperson. But as he approached her, she gave him the most wonderful, genuine smile he'd ever seen. When she shook his hand, it was warm and firm, telegraphing pure, honest delight at meeting him. In an instant, his defenses melted. For 45 minutes, she talked, not about herself, but about him. She'd read his magazines and spoke with admiration about his work and philosophy. She made him feel like the most important person in the world. Only in the final 3 minutes did she mention she sold securities. She didn't even ask him to buy. She just described them with such quiet confidence that he wanted to. He didn't end up buying, but he was so impressed that he called a friend and introduced her, and that friend became a major client. That woman was a master of personality. She understood a fundamental law of human nature. People are most interested in themselves. When you show genuine, unselfish interest in others, their work, hobbies, families, you make a powerful connection. You build a bridge of rapport. This isn't about cheap flattery. People see through that instantly. It's about finding something you can honestly admire in everyone you meet, and speaking of it with sincere praise. This simple habit, practiced daily, will transform your relationships and make you a magnet for goodwill. But a pleasing personality is just the start. To truly harness the power of relationships, you must practice cooperation. Cooperation is the beginning of all organized effort. No great achievement is ever the work of a single person. Every great leader, every great fortune, results from a team of minds working together in harmony. This is the essence of what Hill calls the mastermind. A mastermind is created when 2 or more people ally themselves in a spirit of perfect harmony to attain a definite end. When this happens, a third invisible mind is created, a force greater than the sum of its parts. Carnegie attributed his entire fortune to his mastermind group, a team of about 20 men. He said, "No one person in this group is the mastermind, but the sum total of all the minds in the group, coordinated, organized, and directed to a definite end in harmonious cooperation, is the power that got my money for me." Carnegie wasn't an expert in steel chemistry or production engineering. He was an expert in people. He knew how to select people with specialized knowledge and blend their minds and talents into a single, powerful unit. Think of Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, and Harvey Firestone. They were close friends who went on camping trips together every year. Hill believed that in those quiet moments in the woods, their minds blended. Ford, the master of production. Edison, the master of invention. Firestone, the master of industry. Together, their combined brainpower created a mastermind that amplified each individual's power. To create your own mastermind, you don't need to gather titans of industry. Start with your spouse, a trusted friend, a colleague. Find one or two people who believe in your definite chief aim and are willing to support you. Meet regularly, brainstorm ideas, share challenges, and hold each other accountable. This harmonious alliance of minds will give you access to ideas, courage, and power you could never achieve alone. But to truly unlock this power, you must adopt a principle that seems counterintuitive. Cultivate the habit of doing more than paid for. The average person thinks, "I'll do just enough to get by, they don't pay me to do more." The person destined for success thinks, "How can I deliver more value? How can I go the extra mile?" This isn't about being exploited. It's a strategy for making yourself indispensable. When you consistently deliver more and better service than expected, you do two things. First, you attract favorable attention from those who can promote you. You stand out. Carol Downs, who became president of one of W.C. Durant's companies at General Motors, started by simply staying late. He noticed Durant worked after everyone else left, so he made it his business to be there, ready to help if needed. Durant got into the habit of calling on him, and promotion inevitably followed. But the second reason is even more powerful. It's based on what Hill calls the law of increasing returns, a law of nature. A farmer plants a single wheat seed and gets a stalk with 100 seeds in return. When you render service in a spirit of generosity without expecting immediate payment, the universe pays you back with compound interest. The reward may not come from the person you served, but it will come. An opportunity will appear from an unexpected quarter. By going the extra mile, you're not just working harder, you're investing in yourself. You're building your skills, reputation, and character. You're signaling to the world that you're a person of value. Now, as you begin applying these principles, you'll inevitably encounter something that stops most people: failure. This is why one of the most crucial lessons is profiting by failure. Hill makes a powerful distinction. There's a difference between temporary defeat and failure. Most of what we call failure is merely temporary defeat, a detour, not a dead end. Failure is only permanent when you accept it as such. Every adversity, every defeat, carries within it the seed of an equivalent or greater benefit. This is one of the most profound truths in the entire philosophy. Failure isn't a curse. It's a teacher. It's nature's way of showing you that your plan wasn't sound, that you needed to develop more strength, or that you were heading in the wrong direction. Hill himself experienced 7 major failures in his life. He lost fortunes, had businesses stolen, and was even arrested on false charges. Each time he felt the sting of defeat. But in retrospect, he saw each event as a crucial turning point. Losing his lumber business in the Panic of 1907 forced him to study law. Having his candy business taken taught him a profound lesson in forgiveness. The war destroying his school led him to start the magazine that launched his national career. The key is to analyze every setback. Don't just feel sorry for yourself. Ask, what lesson can I learn from this? What weakness in my plan did this expose? How can I turn this stumbling block into a stepping stone? Thomas Edison conducted more than 10,000 experiments before perfecting the incandescent light bulb. A young reporter asked him, "How did it feel to fail 10,000 times?" Edison replied, "I didn't fail. I just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That's the mindset of someone who profits from failure. They see every defeat not as judgment on their worth, but simply as feedback. To navigate this complex journey, to analyze failures, to deal with people, to create plans, you need a clear mind. You need the ability to think logically without emotion. You need accurate thinking. Accurate thinking is the process of separating facts from mere information, then separating those facts into two classes, important and unimportant. We're bombarded with information every day: news, social media, gossip. Most of it isn't based on facts. It's opinion, speculation, or outright falsehood. The accurate thinker learns to question everything. They ask, how do I know this is true? What's the source? Does the person telling me this have a biased motive? But even with facts, not all are useful. An important fact is any fact that helps you attain your definite chief aim. All other facts are unimportant, at least for your primary purpose. The successful person masters separating the relevant from the irrelevant. They don't waste mental energy on trivial matters. They focus on the few critical facts essential to their success. Ford wasn't interested in 100 car designs. He focused on facts related to one single, efficient, affordable model. Rockefeller didn't get distracted by every business trend. He focused only on facts related to oil. Accurate thinking requires brutal honesty with yourself. Set aside your biases, wishes, and fears to see the world as it is, not as you want it to be. It's the bedrock of sound judgment. And to use that judgment effectively, you need concentration. Concentration is focusing your mind on a single subject until you've worked out a practical plan for its attainment. It's the ability to control your attention. Think of a magnifying glass on a sunny day. The sun's rays are normally diffused over a wide area, but when you focus those rays through a magnifying glass onto a single point, you can create fire. That's the power of concentration. The scattered mind achieves little. The focused mind can achieve anything. Your definite chief aim is the object of your concentration. By holding that aim in your mind day in and day out, you're focusing your mental energy, telling your subconscious what's important. Hill provides a powerful technique for developing this skill. Each day, go to a quiet place, relax your body and mind. Then repeat your definite chief aim aloud, and as you do, use your imagination to see yourself already in possession of your goal. Feel the emotions you would feel. If your goal is to be a great speaker, see the audience, hear their applause, feel the confidence in your heart. This act of concentrated visualization programs your subconscious mind to work on your goal and builds a burning desire that fuels your actions. The more you concentrate on your aim, the more real it becomes in your mind, and the more inevitable it becomes in your life. As you move through the world interacting with others, two final principles act as your moral and ethical compass. The first is tolerance. Intolerance is a form of ignorance. It's the closed mind that refuses to consider any viewpoint but its own. Born from prejudice, racial, religious, economic, intolerance creates enemies, closes doors, and limits your ability to think accurately. An accurate thinker cannot be intolerant because they must be open to facts, wherever they come from. A great leader cannot be intolerant because they must understand and work with all kinds of people. Hill tells the story of being introduced to a young man wearing a Knights of Columbus pin. Instantly, Hill, a Mason, felt a wall go up between them. He recoiled. The incident bothered him for days, forcing him to confront a deep-seated prejudice he didn't know he had. This led him on a years-long journey of research into religion and history that broadened his mind and taught him one of life's most valuable lessons. Tolerance is the hallmark of an educated mind. Being tolerant doesn't mean agreeing with everyone. It means respecting their right to have their own opinions. It means being willing to listen and learn from those who are different. The world is too big and life too complex for any one person or group to have all the answers. And finally, we arrive at the guiding star of the entire philosophy, the law that ties all the others together, the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. This isn't just good moral advice, it's a profound psychological law. Hill explains that every thought you think and every act you commit is registered in your subconscious mind. These thoughts and acts are the building blocks of your character. When you deal unjustly with another person, you must first create that unjust thought in your own mind. That thought then becomes part of you. You cannot harm another without first harming yourself. Conversely, every act of kindness, every thought of goodwill elevates your own character. The universe operates on a law of retaliation, or what Emerson called the law of compensation. What you send out comes back to you. If you send out hatred, you receive hatred. If you send out cooperation and kindness, you receive them in return. The reward may not come from the person you served, but by consistently acting with fairness and justice, you build a positive magnetic character. This character attracts people and opportunities that harmonize with it. You reap what you sow, not always from the same field, but the harvest is certain. This is the ultimate form of self-interest. To be good to others is to be good to yourself. To help others succeed is the fastest and surest way to achieve your own success. These 16 principles all operate under one great universal law, the final principle that governs them all, the universal law of cosmic habit force. This is the law that makes all habits permanent. Nature uses it to keep planets in their orbits and seasons in their cycle. An acorn always grows into an oak tree, never a pine. This is cosmic habit force at work. This same law operates on our minds. Any thought or action you repeat over and over becomes a habit. Once that habit is fixed, cosmic habit force takes over and makes it automatic. This is why bad habits are so hard to break, and good habits are so powerful once formed. The entire law of success philosophy is designed to help you consciously create habits that lead to success. Each principle, from your definite chief aim to the golden rule, must become a habit. You must practice them daily through repetition until they become part of your very being. You develop the habit of self-confidence by repeating your affirmations. You develop initiative by consistently doing more than you're paid for. You develop accurate thinking by constantly questioning information sources. At first, this requires immense willpower and self-discipline. You're digging new mental paths. But as you travel them again and again, they become deeper and wider. Eventually, cosmic habit force takes over, and these positive actions become as automatic as breathing. You no longer have to force yourself to be enthusiastic or think accurately. You simply are that person. This is the ultimate secret. You have the power to choose your thoughts. By choosing them consciously and repeating them persistently, you can shape your own habits. And by shaping your habits, you're shaping your destiny, because the universal law of cosmic habit force will take the blueprint of your thoughts and make it your reality. As we step back and look at this vast and powerful philosophy, what's the single most important lesson we can take from Napoleon Hill's life's work? For me, it's the profound and liberating idea that success is not an accident. It's not the result of luck, genius, or being born into the right family. Success is a science. governed by timeless, universal laws as reliable as gravity. And the most beautiful part? These laws are available to every single one of us. Law of Success is more than a collection of good ideas. It's a complete system for personal achievement. It shows us the journey begins within. It doesn't start with changing our circumstances. It starts with changing ourselves. It starts with mastering our own minds. The principles we've discussed, a definite chief aim, self-confidence, initiative, cooperation, profiting by failure, the golden rule, aren't just abstract concepts. They're tools, instruments with which you can sculpt your character, build your power, and design the life you truly want to live. In a world that often feels chaotic and out of control, Hill's philosophy is a beacon of hope. It reminds us that we are the masters of our fate and captains of our souls. We've been given the ultimate power, the power to control our own thoughts, and in that power lies the key to everything else. So how can you begin applying this wisdom in your own life? Starting today, let me offer 3 simple actions. First, and most importantly, take time tonight to define your chief aim. Don't just think about it. Write it down. Be specific. What do you want to achieve in the next 5 years? What kind of person do you want to become? This single act of clarity is the most powerful first step you can take. Second, form a small mastermind alliance. It doesn't have to be formal. Just find 1 or 2 people in your life who believe in you, a friend, family member, mentor. Share your definite chief aim with them. Ask them to hold you accountable, to encourage you when you face setbacks. The power of a supportive alliance is immeasurable. And third, pick 1 principle from this philosophy and make it your focus for the next week. For example, practice the habit of doing more than paid for. Go the extra mile at your job, at school, or at home without expecting anything in return. Or practice the principle of a pleasing personality by making it your mission to find something to genuinely praise in everyone you meet. Just focus on 1 principle and observe the changes it brings, both in your circumstances and within yourself. Napoleon Hill's journey began with a simple question from Andrew Carnegie. Your journey can begin today with a simple decision, the decision to take control of your mind, to define your purpose, and to start building the habits that will carry you toward your dreams. This philosophy is your map. Now it's time to take the first step. That was a summary of Law of Success by Napoleon Hill. We've journeyed through the core principles today, but I'll be honest, a summary is like looking at a map of a great city. It shows you the layout, but it can never let you experience the energy of the streets, the smell of the cafes, or the feeling of standing before its grand monuments. The real magic happens when you read the book yourself. It's in those quiet moments when a particular story or simple phrase connects with you in a way you didn't expect. This summary is designed to help you decide if this book is worth your time. If anything we've talked about today has struck a chord, I truly encourage you to grab a copy. Reading it isn't just about learning. It's an experience that can genuinely change how you see yourself and your place in the world. You can find a link to the book in the description below. Also, if you found this journey valuable, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. That way, you won't miss our next exploration into another life-changing book from the Billionaire's Bookshelf. Your support helps us continue growing this community of learners. Let's keep growing together.